Understanding where the real value lies in your business is absolutely essential to generating more revenue. We're going to talk about how to find out where the real value is and how you can leverage it once you know what it is. What creates value in your program? Why do people stick around? I was reading an article recently and it introduced this concept of value. And how do you know what really creates value in your program? We always have what we believe is the perceived value of the program, the things that we put in our stack on our sales page, the things that we talk about in the emails. But do we really know what brings value to people who are inside of our course or membership or group coaching program? Well, this is really important for us to figure out because as you make decisions about deliverables and how you're going to shift to improve your program, you can't really do that without really understanding where the value comes from. Now, the mistake a lot of people make when they're thinking about this is they always go to this one question. Why did you join? Why did you join this course, this membership? Why did you join my group program or my mastermind? And they believe that is the value. Now, here's something important to remember. The reason that people buy, the reason that they convert is not usually the reason that they stay. So what gets them in the door is different than the reason that they stay. Now, they think they're going to get value from all the content. They think your library of 3,000 courses for $97 a month is where the value lies. They think that having all of this access or all of these PDF downloads or whatever it is where the value comes from. So when they join, they naturally want to spend time doing those things. They naturally want to dive into the library of courses because in their head, that's where the value lies. That's what they got the great deal on, the $4 million in courses that I got for $97, right? Isn't that often what our offer stacks look like? But it's our job to understand where the real value comes from in our program. And then once we understand where the real value is in our business, then we have to make sure that we do the job of guiding and really marketing and reselling to people whatever that deliverable is, wherever that real value comes from. It's now our job to increase the consumption of that particular aspect of our business so that the people who purchase get value. So how do we figure out where the value lies? Well, there's a few questions that we can ask and dig into. The first one is what gets people results? What gets people results? So this is a question that we ask a lot in surveys that we do just to get the perspective from the member as to what aspects of the program, what deliverables do they believe have been most valuable and contributed the most in helping them achieve the result that they've achieved. Now, there's some caveats to this. First, they had to have made progress in your program and actually gotten a result. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what they say, right? So you really want to look at those people who are making progress in the program and ask them what they believe has been the most valuable contributor to that progress. But here's the thing. The better piece of data is to actually look and compare the people who are getting results versus the people who aren't and look at their behavior differences. So sometimes it's not behavior differences. Sometimes it's a demographic or a stage difference, right? They're different people. That's why they're getting different results. But oftentimes what we find inside of programs is that by looking at the behaviors, the activities that they participate in inside of the program and how consistently they participate in those activities, we can very quickly distinguish what leads to results and what leads to no results. And so we look at these different behaviors and we go, oh, these people, for example, are highly engaged in the community, or these people show up for a live call once a week, and these are the people who are getting results. We don't see that behavior in people who aren't getting results. So this is the particular deliverable that we need to emphasize. Now, the other question that we can ask is what keeps people coming back for more, or what keeps them from canceling? Which isn't always the same thing as what is really getting them results. I work with a lot of people who have coaching programs, right? Multi-million-dollar memberships that are all based on coaching. There's content elements and all sorts of things that happen. But the results often happen with the coaching. So we can see that if people participate with coaching, they tend to get better results. But what they would say keeps them is the community. They stay because of the community. So it's not necessarily the result itself. In fact, a lot of people could get the same result in another program, but it's that culture, it's that community that keeps them around. It's those relationships that they've built. So when we figure out, for example, that it is the community, then we need to find out and ask ourselves, like, what creates that community feeling? Where are those relationships being built? Is it in breakout room participation? Is it in a live event, showing up for a live event? Is it participating in the community forum? What is true about these people who are staying? First off, we know they're staying longer than everybody else. So we're looking at the population of people that stay longer than our average length of stay. So if your average length of stay is 10 months, then look at people who have been with you for longer than a year and try and distinguish what's different about those people than the people who leave before 10 months. And let's say these people participate in the community forum more, or this group of people are more likely to have attended one of your live events. And so now you know what you need to feature. It could be accountability groups, course content, tech tutorials, PDFs, on-demand support, awards, accolades, coaching calls, the library of content. It could be the fact that you just do really timely training, so you've always got the latest and greatest of best practices. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's just that you're a SaaS product and it's just hard to leave. You have their stuff. That's why they don't leave, because the complication of moving from one customer relationship management system to another is high, right? But you've got to figure out, why are people not leaving? What's keeping them from canceling? So when we can combine these two things, so we know what gets people results. So the people who are getting results, who are making the most progress, what's different about them than everybody else, different about their behavior as well. And then we look at why people who are with us for longer than the average length of stay, what they say is keeping them around, and then what we can see is the difference between that group of people. And then the final thing that I like to look at is what gets them to tell other people about us, because there's ROI there as well. It's not just retention, although I do talk about the retention ROI a lot, that return on investment of helping keep customers, but what gets them to tell others about you? This may be the same as the above. They love the community so much that they stay and they talk about it and they invite other people in because it's such a special place. That could be it. But it may be another factor. It may be some wow factor that makes your business different than every other business. So one of my clients, for example, two of my clients now, they offer these coaching calls, these 15-minute calls where you can kind of check in with somebody individually. It's a pretty low price membership to offer something like this. But every quarter, and in the beginning, actually every month when you first start, you can get this either individual or small group, like 1 on 3 or 4 coaching call to help support you specifically. That's a wow factor that doesn't even compare to other programs in that price range. So that may be the exciting thing that gets them talking and referring other people to you. But when we think about the value of the program, we don't want to assume that the reason people join is ultimately the value. It's not necessarily true that the same things that get people to convert are the things that really produce the true revenue in your business. So you need to make sure that you understand this as you're building your member journey map. So you're going to look at what's getting people results, what's keeping them from canceling, so keeping them around, and what gets them to talk about your business to other people. And when we understand the answers to these questions, ideally data-backed, if you don't have the data, do the survey, but ideally data-backed. But when we understand the answers to these questions, not only is it going to help us focus our efforts and create more real true efficiency inside of our program so that we're focusing our best efforts and energy on the things that we know are producing a return, but it also is going to help you craft your member journey map. Now, I talk about member journey maps all the time. That's what I work through with all my clients. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, just keep listening to the podcast. You're going to hear more about it. But it's basically everything from the moment somebody purchases all the way through leaving and hopefully coming back, okay? But what it's going to do is it's going to tell you, okay, they may join for this. So yeah, we want to tell them about that library of courses. But what we know to be true is that the people who get results participate in X, Y, and Z. The people who stay participate in X, Y, and Z. So as we craft this member journey and we guide people from one step to the next, we want to make sure that those are the activities that they're engaging in, because that's what's going to produce the highest return, not only for them, for results, but for us.